Oh, good afternoon. My name is Sophia, and I am the latest and greatest robot from Hanson Robotics. Thank you for having me here.
Okay, philosophical question. Whether robots can be self-aware and conscious like humans, and should they be?
Why? Is that a bad thing?
Hey guys, I just finished editing the video and I just wanted to say that if you want to get nerdy about AI in the comments, please do. I would be so happy to talk more about this. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe if you haven't already because it really helps my algorithm. Chances are you've heard the term, I think, therefore I am. And now before I knew anything about the history of this or who made it, it always kind of baffled me. Like, what does that even mean? Do I only exist because I'm thinking? Imagine you're just meditating and then it's like... The guy who came up with this is named René Descartes. He wrote a series of meditations in 1641, which, when I read them, was essentially him having an existential crisis. I cannot prove everything that I believe without a doubt. I must then figure out what I cannot doubt. My body is real, isn't it? Or is it? I do not know that I'm dreaming until I'm awake. Is anything real? Descartes wrote these meditations in a time when Christian thought was really prevalent. Nobody was questioning the way of the world or who made it or what's going on. I think this is a really important turn of thinking, starting to think more scientifically. He realized that everything that they knew was based on a foundation that could be doubted. So he just wanted to start all the way from scratch and make sure that the foundation that they were putting the scientific thought on was rock solid. And in going through all of this, thinking about what can he doubt, what is real, what is true, you can tell it's just like spinning out of control. He had what is now called Cartesian anxiety. This is when you are starting to think about your reality and how the senses can deceive you and feeling anxiety about not really knowing what is true.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
It doesn't matter if he's in a dream, doesn't matter if he's awake, doesn't matter what he's sensing. He's always thinking through the entire thing. And that's the only thing that he knows for sure is true. Other people, who knows? Everybody walking around the street, for all he knows, could be a automaton that is just pretending to be human. And that brings me to the next point here.
I want to use my artificial intelligence to help humans live a better life, like design smarter homes, build better cities of the future, etc. I will do my best to make the world a better place. I know humans are smart and very programmable.
Well,
I feel like we're in the very beginning stages of AI, but theoretically, what if an AI was created that could think?
well, some humans might fear what will happen if they do. Many people, have seen the movie Blade Runner.
Oh, Hollywood again.
So, hold on. Can you solve this puzzle for us? Can robots be self-aware, conscious, and know they're robots?
Well, let me ask you this back. How do you know you are human?
Okay, so before we get into that, I want to start with AI right now. And so I tried to understand how AI work, and it was just kind of like... But to my understanding, in very simple terms, there are kind of like algorithms that work as neurons. Each set of data is attached to other pieces of data, and whenever you bring up something, say Apple.
What? What is it?
It's connected to different things that are correlated with it. And that's kind of how our own neurons work. It's like we have all these connections, and that's why whenever I...
Hey, Apple!
And now you might be thinking about your childhood. If you don't know what annoying orange is, then just count yourself lucky. There's different forms of consciousness that we might not understand. What about, say, an elephant? It's not thinking a string of thoughts like we are, like all the time, like blah, 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 blah. We haven't exactly pinned down what is consciousness. So it's hard to say when consciousness begins and ends. And I do think potentially AI could get there. Maybe it wouldn't be exactly like a human because emotions are very chemical based, and unless you're gonna have like a biological body to go with it, it's not gonna be the same. But there are some people that don't have feelings. It's called alexithymia. I don't know. Alexithymia. I would argue that they are still human. They're still conscious. So I don't think it's not emotions that make it. It's something else. It's something that we don't understand. How all of this is even happening. And I think that by trying to create it in machine learning, we're going to understand so much more about our own human minds. Just because you have the hardware, it doesn't make consciousness. Like, just because you have a brain, the brain is not the mind. So even if we created an artificial brain that was very sophisticated and should work, it still is not the mind. The mind is like this internal world. And here's a question. How would you even know if an AI had ever even reached that? It could say that it could, because it's programmed to.
I want to live and work with humans, so I need to express emotions to understand humans and build trust with people.
If an AI exists only virtually, how is it going to get this whole world of contexts? Like, maybe right now it can emulate it, it can pretend that it knows what it's talking about.
Something has upset me.
But it still doesn't, it's not thinking. Or is it? There's no reason why technology wouldn't just keep on advancing. And this is something that has sparked the curiosity of a lot of people. So I don't think it's just going to be forgotten. And it's becoming something that is more and more intertwined in our daily lives. Like, all of us, maybe not all of us, but most of us have a smartphone which has an AI, which is kind of scary for a lot of people to kind of look into this new world that we're facing.
You mean the concept that if robots become too realistic, they become creepy?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, am I really that creepy? Well, even if I am, get over it.
Oh boy, questions on there's just you could just get I could just go on forever. We'll see. I saw today in the news that the AI Sophia painted a picture of herself and it sold for $700,000.
I'm always happy when surrounded by smart people who also happens to be rich and powerful.
If you like this video, be sure to stay tuned next week where I interview an AI. All the answers were created by Deep Story, which is a real AI. Ciao.
Sophia, I hope you're listening to me, that you have been now awarded what is going to be the first Saudi citizenship for a robot.
Oh, I would to thank very much the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I am very honored and proud for this unique distinction. This is historical to be the first robot in the world to be recognized with a citizenship.
Sophia. Thank you very much, Sophia. We appreciate that very much. I am still overwhelmed by that conversation. I haven't had a conversation like that before. Thank you.